What's going on, everybody? John Eric Poli here with My MMA News, and today's guest will be fighting Polyana Viana, UFC Vegas 72, fight date April 29th. Always a pleasure to be joined by Emily Ducote. Emily, nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me on again.
Hey, no problem at all. So let's get started today by actually going back a little bit here. Your last fight was actually your first UFC loss, but still, you've been fantastic as of late. 4-1 in your last five fights. Just kind of, how do you handle it coming off of the loss, and what's kind of the mindset like coming into this one?
Yeah, nobody likes to lose, so not thrilled about it. But I went home, put a lot of work into figuring it out, assessing that fight, and just getting back to it. No reason to kind of dwell on it. So I have done everything I needed to this camp, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the cage.
I was just gonna say, what's the excitement level kind of like for this one? Then, obviously, a lot to prove. Obviously, you want to get back in the win column. I'm sure you're gonna be super excited to get back in there for this one.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to prove to anybody, more so just myself. I'm good. I know I'm good, so I just want to go out there and do what I know I can do. Definitely looking forward to getting back in the win column for sure. It's really important. So excited, but really, really excited just overall to fight.
And I feel like now from interviewing you a few times, I kind of got a little sense of how you like to train. I feel like I know the answer, but I'm gonna go ahead and I guess ask this anyway here. After your last fight, were you right back inside the gym working, kind of fixing everything right away?
Yeah, I don't like to take too much time off. I feel like you're on a track, and after a fight, win or lose, it takes some time to get back on track. So just for me, the quicker you get back on track, the better everything is. So as fast as I could, back in the gym, assessing, working, kind of just getting a little talks from all my coaches just to get everything back on track. And I had a fantastic camp this time.
And speaking of training camp, let's go there right now. I know you're putting the final touches on your camp. Just how's camping going?
Yeah, it's been really good. I had a great amount of time for this fight, not too long, not too short. I was able to do a training trip to San Diego. I was able to bring some girls out for a little group here in Oklahoma, and just been staying consistent with all of my coaching staff. And everything's feeling really good and working out well.
Let's talk about that San Diego visit there a little bit. Obviously, cross training is important for a lot of fighters that come from smaller gyms, just to get kind of different looks and whatnot. There, just what was that trip kind of like, and how'd you enjoy it?
Yeah, I fought Jessica Penne and Angela Hill, so to go out there and train with them is really cool. I'm not someone that really has like a ego or attitude or I don't like you, type thing. Fighting is more personal, not so much drama for me. So I was able to go out and take advantage and learn from them, and I had a great time out there. It was just a short trip, but it was really good. Packed in some mental knowledge and notes. So really, really had a great trip working with them. I definitely will look to do that again in the future. So really had a great trip. I also got to go out to Fortis, work with Saif and his girls. I like Saif a lot. His coaching philosophy is kind of similar to my head coach, just very no nonsense, no sugarcoating, straight to it. That's how I handle information the best. So really enjoyed that as well. And then we had a good girls group here in Oklahoma City, which we try to do every time. I like to get a good group out, and yeah, I had so three really great out of my gym training experiences.
And I want to ask you too about the women in the gym. Is that something that's normal? Is there a lot of women typically in there? Because I was looking at on your Instagram there, and it seems like, or maybe there has been this way, but you just haven't posted as much. But it seemed like there was a real lot of women in your camp this time around. And sometimes you're posting photos about, it seemed like four, five, six girls at a time training with. Is that something that's typical for you in Oklahoma, or is that something that was new?
Yeah. So, at my gym, I kind of talked about this before. It's not a fight gym. So we have fighters, but we also have like tons of regular people that just love to train. And in those people, there are some really, really great training partners. And it's kind of funny because, it's people that like don't care to compete or in jujitsu or fighting or whatever, but they're really good. So they're really useful in my camp. And I've known a lot of these people at my gym for like years and years. So they're great people. They will help me wherever, I ask for it. So I always have a really good, consistent group of people. But we do have several girls at the gym, and they're consistent and they're down for whatever. So anything I need, hey, we're sparring on this day. Even if I say we're sparring every single day, they'd show up, they would do whatever work, is necessary. So I have a great group at this gym, and I have had a pretty good group this last year. But yeah, so there's a lot of jujitsu girls at the gym right now. A lot of jujitsu girls. That's what that big group is. And then, I have some friends around, some Texas girls. They drove up last weekend, and Jessica Ducote from Vegas came out, and Kendra Hollowell from Arkansas. So we just had a really good group, a really good training group last week. I think that's what the girls you're talking about. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm resourceful. I'll find the girls around here and we'll pull them together and we'll have a good training.
And this is something that I always like to get to take from female fighters on here, and it's a pretty good talking point. I don't think a lot of people realize it. For a lot of women, they will train with guys, and you could obviously see what the benefit would be to that. However, a lot of women will say it's actually better training with other women because you're on that same level, like strength wise and everything, and a lot of the movements are different, like they're not taking it easy on you or anything like that. So just talk about that a little bit, how important that is, getting those live reps with other women as well.
Yeah, so I can see, and I do use both sides of that. My main training partner is actually a guy, Josh. He's a 125er. He has been my main training partner for years and years. So I have that side where I do train with guys. And then I also, will make sure, especially in camp, that I go out and I get these trainings with other girls. They're high level girls. So it is totally different to train with them both, but I think both are useful. Sometimes some girls like to go really hard. Some girls don't. Guys will just smash you regardless, and you kind of just need it sometimes. So Josh is really great. He's never hurt me. We go hard for sure. But he is in control, but yeah, he beats me up for sure.
All right. Well, it's good that you're getting that great training in. I know we spent a pretty good chunk of time here talking about training. Let's get into the actual fight itself here now a little bit. Let's talk about your opponent. Just what have you seen out of her, and kind of how are you expecting things to play out on fight night?
Yeah, she's been in the UFC for quite a bit of time now. She's got several fights. I see her as more of a really good jiu-jitsu girl, but she does have that last fight where she got a TKO KO finish. So I think she just wants to fight more than anything. She just, seems like I want to fight, let's fight type person. So, but I think she's more skilled on the ground. I think she will throw hands. So I see this fight going everywhere and anywhere, but I think she definitely, if she could choose to be anywhere, she'd want, full guard where she can throw up all her attacks.
And what's pretty cool for this fight, too, we were talking about this off air here a little bit. First time for you ever fighting in the fight capital of the world in Las Vegas. So how excited are you for that? Obviously, it's in the Apex, not a large crowd if it was in the T-Mobile, but still, you do get to fight in Vegas. I know any fighter wants that experience to fight out in Vegas.
Right. Yes. I'm super excited to be fighting in Vegas. And really, truthfully, I fought in front of a crowd and I hope to do that again, but I do want the Apex experience, and just excited to check it out, see how it is. And small crowd, it does not bother me. Some fighters will talk about having a hard time getting pumped up if there's not a crowd or whatever. That's not me. So I am totally cool with it and definitely looking forward to it.
All right, so this is your first fight here of 2023. Just what are the goals like for the year? Do you have a certain number of fights you want to get in, or are you just kind of going to play the year out by ear here, kind of?
Yes, just kind of take it one thing at a time. So this fight, I have goals for myself for this fight, and I have goals to stay active. So just getting back on track, staying active, staying ready, taking advantage of all training and fight opportunities. So that's what I look to do this year.
Awesome. Just to close this out now, I want to go through a few, I guess, headlines from the UFC women's division just to kind of go over with you because kind of some interesting takes here. First one I want to start with Alexa Grasso in the flyweight division taking the title off of Valentina. Everybody's still talking about that one too. Such a major upset. Just kind of what your thoughts on that moment.
Yeah, she took full advantage. She looked really good. And I mean, split second, that's crazy. It's so crazy, so exciting. So she took full advantage. She definitely deserved it. She had been fighting for a long time in the UFC, fought, pretty much everybody in the division, did really, really well. And her last several fights, she kind of stood out. So she got that title shot and ran with it, took it. Really good, to dethrone somebody like Valentina, who was dominant for so long in that division. So really exciting, definitely shakes up that entire division. So I'm curious what they'll do. Obviously, there's a couple 125ers that are, at the top, Aaron Blanchfield being one of them. So I look to see what they're going to do with that.
All right, let's go to the division, one division higher than that one there, the bantamweight division. They just announced it recently here, the trilogy, Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena. Just your thoughts on that matchup. That should be an exciting one there. Interesting to see how that one kind of plays out. Trilogies are always fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. That one's more, there's a lot of drama packed into that one. So that's just not really my, it gets me so excited. I get really excited about a technical, fighter experience and stuff like that. So Valentina and Grasso, super exciting. Less excited about drama stuff, but still curious how this plays out. Trilogies are interesting, but Amanda did really, really good last time. So I kind of lean towards her.
All right, then it's the last one to go over with here. The champ in your division, Weili Zhang, obviously doesn't have a fight booked. It's been kind of a minute since she last fought here, right? She fought in November. I mean, should be getting a fight booked soon, you would hope. I'm not sure if she has what's going on with her, why a fight has been booked there. But, I mean, are you just hoping that something gets moving there? Just because I'm sure as a fighter in that division, you want to see the title get not necessarily moved around, but just people moving, contenders moving, and fights always being booked. I always give Ioane and Jacek credit, whether people like her or they don't like her. When she was the champ of that division, it was
Very
moving.
active.
She definitely always fought twice a year, so I'm hoping you kind of some movement gets going there, right?
Right. Yeah. I am also surprised that nothing's been booked. There are, everyone ranked is pretty much booked except for a few people that had just literally fought. So everyone's pretty booked. I'm curious why Weili hasn't been booked. And I would guess Lemos, since she's the only one that, is not, either she's waiting for it or they already know that that's, coming up soon. But that's what I would expect. Lemos kind of beat a lot of those people. Marina, I think, was really, really close to the belt. And then Lemos just came in and, beat her. So that's what kind of goes to my mind. But a lot of those fights that are booked are contenders. Jan has looked really, really good, and she's fighting Jessica Andrade pretty soon. So Angela Hill, Mackenzie Dern, those are all really interesting matchups. So I'm curious for all of those matchups, and also the title fight that whenever they book that.
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting division, too, to be a part of. A lot of big matchups on the horizon for you and for other contenders there as well. One last thing to close us out, though, before we wrap things up here today. I know that you are a big fan of donuts. We talked about that in the past. And you actually, I'm pretty sure you recommended a donut that had bacon on it. I think it was from a local place in Oklahoma. But Duck Donuts. Don't know if you ever heard of it, if you ever ate at
In
one.
Salt Lake City?
Okay, I'm from Pennsylvania. We just got one by us.
Oh, you got one.
Yes, we just finally got one, and they are amazing. So you had
Yes,
Duck Donuts before?
I've tried them in Salt Lake City. I've got some family out there, and they brought a box. I've tried them. They're very good. Those are good donuts.
All right, I'm glad they had the stamp of approval because I had the bacon one from there.
Yes.
I thought of you when I had it. Now that was really good. Do you have a certain flavor of donuts outside of just having bacon on the top that you go for? I really like the peanut butter ones as well.
Yeah, the maple bacon's my favorite. But I'm not real specific. After that, anything good, good old fashioned, really just not picky with donuts.
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong there, that's for sure. Emily, appreciate the time as always. Just last thing before you head out, social media, so people know where to follow you at. You have management, sponsorships, shout outs, family, friends, whoever. You get the last word today. Floor is yours.
Yes, all of that stuff, management, team, sponsors, all of that is on my Instagram. That's where I'm most active. So mjacoty1, and you'll be up to date with all of my stuff.